Okay, hello, I hope you can hear me. You can also see me. Yeah, sorry for the mess up yesterday. I put in the wrong date into YouTube, but announced on all the forums, etc., and especially in my personal calendar, that it would be on Sunday. So today is Sunday, and yesterday I'm sorry for all the people that dropped in and were suspecting I was gone missing or did a Halloween joke or something. It was not my intention, but yeah, very sorry about that. Next time I will double and triple check my calendars. Please raise a hand if you can hear me or can't hear me. Well, if you can't hear me, you can't, but you will notice that I'm blabbing away and don't hear anything. But I think OBS says everything is good. Stream quality is supposed to be excellent, both on OBS and YouTube side. Not sure about the lag, but I guess that's the usual 20-30 seconds or so. And yeah, I think a couple of you will already know what I'm doing. Okay, Sadako is raising his hand. That means he's hearing what I'm saying. Today, another sound card from Matthias Matze. I think he is not yet in. Maybe yesterday he was there and was very disappointed because it's his card. Maybe he'll drop in later, I don't know. For sure an interesting piece. Not a very sophisticated card, but interesting nevertheless. It's this little thing here. As you can see, it's a dual ISA digital to analog converter, and the ICs, the actual digital to analog converters, are already there. I haven't looked up the data sheet. You can do that if you want. It's an AD, so probably analog devices 7524JN. Yeah, I think that's that, and there's not much to it. I suspect that these are address decoders. There's 2 jumper blocks to configure the ports, because this thing will show up like 2 line printer ports, because basically what this is 2 different Covox style DACs, basically, which usually go on a line printer port, a parallel port, but instead of using a parallel port, we can simply plug them into the ISA and configure, yeah, the address, more or less. We will have to look up the encoding here. There's not much else to it. There will be 2 op amps here for sound amplification. There's one voltage regulator, I think, to get this lovely noise-free 5 volts that the device probably needs. Yeah, a couple of capacitors, a couple of resistors, an audio jack, and that's that. So we should be done with this fairly quickly. There's nothing particularly difficult, not like the XT card, IDE compact flash card last time, which I haven't worked on yet, again, because I'm still hating that thing, but eventually I will get to that. Nevertheless, I think I can turn on the iron already. 350 degrees. We have our component tester if we need to check the any of the components. Most of the stuff is here because we did a pooled order on the forum, so there's at least one more guy who's doing this, apart from Matthias. And yeah, we already have the DACs in place. I think I might just start with those, even though I should start with the resistors, but I'm feeling lucky, I think. So what do we have here? These are logic comparators. Okay, maybe they are logic comparators. Not sure if that's actually, yeah, that's the correct one. Those are 74688s. I'm not gonna socket anything because I think this will be good enough. There's the audio jack. I do have the bill of materials here. for the ICs we don't need that. We need it for the resistors and the capacitors maybe, but actually probably there's only two different, or is it? Maybe it's only one kind of capacitor plus the electrolytics. So I think we probably don't need much of it, and this is the voltage regulator. So yeah, as I said, I'm feeling lucky. I'm going to start with the digital to analog converters. I could use my thingamajig. Oh, I'm very quiet, sorry. I'm gonna, this is already pumped up completely. Also have to speak into the mic. I turned up the gain, but it will give a little bit of a hum. My mixer is not very good. It doesn't have like this 50 volts phantom source, so I get a lot of noise in there. Some point I will upgrade, but not right now. Let's get the oopsie. Let's get the ELV thingamajig. I like this. Hello, Thomas. Oh, okay, much better loudness now. Great, good. Hello, Thomas. Long time no see. All right. So I hope yesterday everyone had a nice Halloween. We didn't do much because of COVID. Everybody's a bit scared. Come on. All right. So for such a small board, this is not strictly necessary, but I like this. So they're almost falling apart here. We take the good leaded solder. I lost the sticker on it, but it's Staniol, or what's the name of the company. And my good cheap case GAR. Hello Martin, welcome. So, starting off by soldering opposite legs. Like this, so the first one doesn't fall out, now the second one. Gently pushing from the underside, so it's neatly in place. By now, Matthias actually makes very, very nice PCBs with nice large pads. I don't have a clue how to do that, any of this stuff, but I think for a baker he does a pretty amazing job at designing sound cards. If his breads are as good as his sound cards, I think people will be happy. Okay, we're up to 11 viewers. Wow, that's nice. So I'm not completely alone here and talking garbage. It's always a nice thing. Okay, this is just flux. So there, this looked like a bridge here, but from my perspective. But I think on the screen you can see that it's just flux, which actually smells pretty nice, but I think it's not very good for your health. But I'm not gonna turn on the ventilator, or you will not hear a thing what I'm saying. So I'm just trying not to breathe. But I might have to open the window at some point, although it's pretty stormy outside. Today's drink is a classic German Frühkölsch. So cheers to that. And yeah, I'm almost done with half of the pins here. Come on, will you take the solder? Yeah, here we go. So the interesting part will be when this is all soldered, if it works. It should work if I don't screw anything up, and which software to use for that. So mostly this card is for, I wouldn't necessarily use it for playing games, but to play back mod files on older machines that don't have a proper sound card, because it's very nice to see that such a simple sound card can actually produce pretty decent sound quality with very minimal amount of legacy components. So the minimalism here is actually why this device is pretty cool. Of course, there are much better sound cards. For example, I could play much better sound quality with the GUSR Gravis Ultrasound clone that has obviously tons better quality, plus it doesn't strain the CPU as much because it computes all the sounds. But this here is so small, so tiny, and basically a very cool device. Yeah, so that's why I like this kind of stuff. Now let's see. I think now we should put in the diodes and the resistors. For some reason, I think I bought the wrong resistors, or Mauser sent me the wrong ones. They are supposed to be both quarter watt. So take a look at this. So, oh, hello Matthias, welcome. And it does not need an IRQ. Yeah, that's true. It's a very resource. Well, it needs 2 ports, obviously, but yeah. So these are 1%. What do you call it? Resistor thingies, and this here should be the same quarter watt. However, I'm wondering, they are so small, they look more like 1/8 watt or something. So yeah, not quite sure what I should think about that. So let's put them in. I might swap the smaller ones if you guys convince me that they're probably not useful. Then I have to dig through my very chaotic collection of resistors, which might make the stream longer, but probably also more boring, even more boring. Yeah, so let's see this wonderful bill of materials. We have only 4 resistors, R1 through R4, and those are those don't even have a value, I think. Mr. Matthias, do you have a value for these, or are they basically just the same? I doubt it, because it's R1, R2, R3, R4, or maybe they're all the same. I don't know. So while I'm bending the legs here, maybe you can enlighten us, or I can look for a picture of your card. They are all 10K. Yeah, they definitely have the same markings. Yeah, they are all 10K. I don't think I need to test them. The question is, are these really quarter watt resistors? Because they are tiny, really tiny. But from the looks of it, well, I don't know. I'll just put the small ones in. Then we have a chance of maybe some explosions. Probably not. So putting them in. I heard once that you actually should snip off the legs before soldering, so that none of the cut wires are exposed to air, etc. But actually I'm always lame and cut them after soldering. This way around. Alright. let's get them attached. Soldered. Okay, I need to wiggle around a bit. Whoop. Just like this, nothing in the chat. I can even see the smoke on the screen. Well, this one doesn't look quite nice as the others, but I think that's okay. So let's snip them off. And as I said, this is probably not the best way to do it. That's how I always do it. I think otherwise you probably need to tape them down, and I'm too lazy to do that. Come on. Hi Necroware. Necroware also has a very nice YouTube channel, so check it out if you haven't already. Ah, look at that. That's crummy. That's one crummy resistor. Let's redo that. This is better. Neckware, you missed the beginning. Never mind, you can re-watch it after the stream. But there wasn't that much to do, so for all who are tuning in right now, we are building Matthias, who is also in the chat, a new sound card, which is the dual stereo ISA digital to analog converter. Mouthful, but it just means there are two digital to analog converters, and instead of putting them on the printer port as you would normally do with such a Covox style device, you just put them here, have some kind of address decoding happening here with a dip switch, and then you can basically have stereo sound with very, very minimal components and in hopefully pretty decent quality. We'll check out some software that I have never used before later to test it. Diodes. I think diodes are a good idea now because they are pretty small. And I think I have totally oversized diodes here. I mean, look at those. They are massive. They are truly massive. Look at the leads. I think these are how much volts? I think 400 volts or something. Or something along the lines. I don't know. I think you can probably build a bridge rectifier from them or something. Let's hope I get the leads through the holes, but I think Matthias prepared pretty large through holes for these, so we should be okay. Ah, yes, they fit very nicely. So even though we have tiny puny resistors, we have massive huge diodes. Something smaller, I guess, would have sufficed. I'm not even sure what the diodes are doing here. No idea. Probably for the power supply, maybe, I don't know. Some flux. And my hand is actually already sticky from the flux. So think they are supposed to be connected in the middle. No voltage drop is wanted. Oh, okay, if the diodes drop some voltage, so the regulator has less heat output. If the diodes are too big, could voltage drop be a problem? No voltage drop is wanted. No, voltage drop is wanted. Okay, so they are basically to drop a little bit of the voltage, because as we know, every diode has some forward voltage drop. And they can be used for dropping some voltage. But I think they also heat up due to that, because usually you don't get anything for free. And I think there's also stuff like Zener diodes, which can be used to limit current or voltage. I don't know. I forgot. But they also heat up quite a lot, depending on how much is going through them. So here we are. Very nice. I think we can probably put in the capacitors now. Each one drops 0.7 volts and 1.4 volts total of 12 volts. Okay, yeah. So roughly down to 10 volts then, or 10.5. So I think the capacitors are all the same. I think I ordered just one bunch, so we can just plop them in and be done with it. So this will be a bit boring. So there will be another tricky part, which I just only read in the forum description by Matthias. We will have to use, I think, the debug tool from MS-DOS to manipulate the BIOS table of all the LPT ports to get them to be visible to other programs, I guess. I wonder why we have to do that. Do we really have to do that for all the programs, or can we just say, no, just use this or that address? So I'm not quite certain why that is actually necessary. Just use debug to modify. Okay, yeah, we will need your help on that, or I will have to look it up on the forums. So we'll see about that. But that will be in, like, I don't know, half an hour or maybe a bit more, depending on how fast I am with this stuff here. Yeah. Question, of course, is also, will this be available for anyone to buy? Or is this just like a one-off project, sort of fun thing? Because I think the Tandy card will become available, I think even at Serako's shop, or Matthias says if your software does not allow you to specify an I/O port. Ah, okay, yeah, okay, makes sense. And then you can just say I'm using LPT something. Oh, this is a very nasty joint. Oh well, good enough. Serako says yes. Okay. So the Tandy card will be available at his shop. Okay, let's cut all those leads here. It's starting to look like a hedgehog. people are chatting about the setup still. Alright. So the problem that Matthias is describing is that this is not a true line printer port. The BIOS can't detect it as such because it's taking the same resources, yes, but it's not behaving like a printer port, which is why we need to use the debug utility to modify the BIOS table in RAM to make this thing show up as an LPT. Yeah, he says we have no status registers, etc. Exactly. So this is really a very, very dumb card. But that's what's actually nice about it. And one has to wonder why IBM didn't just put in something like this into the PC, because it would have been cheap back then. You don't even need high quality DAC or something, but a very simple DAC would have sufficed to actually give us very decent sound quality on the PC. For a lot of different reasons, so yeah. It wouldn't have had to use like the LPT port or anything, but just reserve 2 ports for stereo DACs or something. PS1 did, as far as I know, says Necroware. I'm not sure. I used to have a PS1 for a short time as a kid. Got one for free, but it was worse than the 486 that I had back then, so I got rid of it at some point, sadly. But it actually was a lovely machine. It was tiny. It had not real VGA, but I think it might have still been one with the MCGA. But you could run Monkey Island, etc., and a lot of games, but no true VGA games. Yeah, so it was extremely compact, very small. Whoops, hitting the camera there. A nice all-in-one PC. But when I got it for free, it was already totally obsolete, and I didn't guess that it would become a collectible later on, so I got rid of it. But I can't tell you if it had a DAC or not, don't remember that. Come on, okay. Okay, that's it for the small capacitors. I would say resistor pack, and then the ICs and the dip switches, and then we are almost done. The big capacitors are missing, yeah. But let's do the resistor packs first, and they go with pin 1 over there. So resistor packs look like this. They're basically just a bunch of resistors wired with a common ground, which is here the marked pin, and we have one pin marked 1 over here, so you need to align both, and then in it goes. And they are easier to install than doing 9 different resistors, and they are here for terminating the dip switch or something like that. So there we go. messed up the first solder joint a bit. I think I have to heat up the pad a little bit more. Too impatient. Already at 350 degrees. There we go. And that's the first resistor pack, getting pretty warm. Now the second one, same direction. We will also have to look up the dip switch settings. Oh, this one has a bent leg. Double checking the orientation. Oh, this is sucking up so much heat because it's a rather large component. Alright, but this is actually pretty fast going. Okay, people are still hanging around, that's nice. Another bit of flux. Next up, I think maybe I take the voltage regulator because it's I have to get it in there. And I would probably need a screw to tie this down. Well. Let's see if this... Matthias, I think your footprint doesn't quite match with my voltage regulator. I would have to bend the legs a bit differently, but maybe that's good enough. Necro says, I just searched. I guess I was wrong. PS1 seems to have had something what became Tandy later. That's actually the PC Junior. The PC Junior was basically a flop, but the Tandy was a pure PC Junior clone, and they had the SN76489. And later models also had a DAC. That's true. I think Freddy from Modmaster, he has one of those, and also added support for that in his software. So let's see if we have any screws to fix up this thing. I think I have somewhere some screws, but not quite in reach. I think it will probably work for a couple of minutes, even without being tied down. Wouldn't you usually make like a pad to solder it down to? Well, I don't know. We can do it just like that. Okay, this is going to be a bit tricky. So this will eat up a lot of heat. Oh yeah. Oh, it's ouch. It's getting hot. I actually once had a diode desolder itself from overheating in an old handheld game. Okay, this looks good. This looks fine. What else do we need? I'm wondering, where are the op amps? Oh, here they are. I put them in my luxury box. There are the op amps and the dip switches. Yeah, but first let's do the comparators. What does a comparator do? I think it compares. It compares whatever is coming over the address lines on the isobus to whatever is encoded here in the dip switches. That's my guess. ARMSIT box. What? Ah, the ARMSIT box. Almost. I think they send it in a different box. Maybe? Not sure. Forgot. But here says PS1 supports much more on his DAC. It's capable like Tandy DAC. Okay. Oh, interesting. So the PS1 did have a DAC. Sorry, that was my head. Now I have to bend the legs a bit more. Okay, the PS1 only has with a rare option board. Oh, I know that it has this huge ribbon cable, I think, and I think I saw someone on Vogans who had one of these, and it also can do sound, Tandy sound on the 205 hex port. Yeah, that's nice. They should have put in the SN76489 from the start. That plus a very simple DAC. And then you would have had a great 80s gaming machine. But IBM didn't want to do gaming. And that's why the PC sucked at sound for a very long time. I think your huge ground planes are sucking up a lot of the heat. There's a huge ground plane here. It's very hard to solder even. I mean, this is not the weakest soldering iron. If you have a 386 version, you actually can use Tandy TSRs on it. Ah, okay. You have to make it more compatible, because Tandy software will look for the chip on another port, and there are TSRs for 386s that can remap the ports, which isn't possible on a 286 and lower. Yeah, so that's nice. There are some very nice demos for the Sega Master System, the predecessor to the Mega Drive, which use the same chip, and they have really great soundtracks. And even some of the Mega Drive demos use the chip, because the Mega Drive is compatible with the Master System, so you can use both the FM synth, which is related to the OPL, on the AdLib, but slightly different. And you can also use the Tandy chip in the Master System, basically. Yeah, exactly. The Mega Drive has 2 sound chips. So there are some very cool demos which use the SN76489 to a very, very great extent. Not so much on the PC. I'm not sure if anyone ever coded a PC Junior or Tandy Mega Demo. If someone would do that, that would be cool, and I think there's probably only a couple of people who could do that now. One of them probably John Leonard, who is not here today, I think. He sometimes drops in. John? Did I say John? Jim? Oh, is it Jim Leonard? The Moby Gamer, anyway. So sorry for butchering your name. However, we have a couple of talented coders, like Dragonsphere, who did the tracker for the Tandy sound card. I'm very looking forward to his next releases. I think it's very cool that we get like new software for our new homebrew cards. Oh, this is crummy. This is not good. I have to get this off the board. Let's put some flux on there. Usually the solder should not stick to the solder mask. This looks like it did, at least a little bit. I'm just gonna put some flux on there and let it flow until it hits some gold. Yeah, now it's on a wire, but that doesn't matter. That's okay, I think. Well, let's do it like this. It's easier. Now it's smoking. I soldered with ZD937 with 350 degrees. Okay. How much wattage does your ZD937 have? Probably more than my cheap thing here. And also the question is, how much does it cost? Is it one with the hot air included or just the soldering iron? But 350 degrees is definitely the right temperature. So here we go. Looking good. So the comparators are in place. And for some reason they were sold out at one point. They seem to be pretty popular devices at the moment. And I hope that Texas Instruments will continue to produce all these through-hole chips, because they are actually pretty important for all the retro stuff. And all the other vendors, I think, gave up. Okay, let's take the op-amps. They are so tiny. This is the, what is it? The Texas Instruments LM358P. If anyone wants to look it up. Make sure that the notch is facing the right way. Let's take the other one as well. Here they are. Amplifier. Yes, they are amplifiers. Almost done. Here we go. only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more pieces to go. I'm gonna opt for the dip switches now. I guess they go on this way, I hope. Probably doesn't matter, but it will make setting them weird if I put them the wrong side up. These were, I think, the most expensive parts on the whole thing. You probably can get away if you just wanna set them. You can probably just put jumpers in there, and then it's cheaper. So yeah, I think jumpers are way cheaper. But why not have very nice dip switches? Here they go. You can also use it for outputting signals, but I did not try it yet. Maybe generating some waveforms. That's Matthias. Okay, yeah, could be. Haven't had a look at the datasheet. So this is sitting nicely. The next block. Look at those huge things. Okay, so we are nearing the completion. Capacitors are missing, the two electrolytics and the audio jack, and then we can try it out. I think I will rip out the Snark Barker and the Argus or Gusar, just for safety reasons. And we will need to copy over some software. And you guys can already look up like a TV program from the 80s, Drinking and Smoking, even if it's from there. And yes, you guys can already look up what I need to set the dip switches to. Because we will need that very soon. And I don't see my capacitors. There's the audio jack. And I love how much trash Mauser makes for these things. And all these have different footprints, so I do have a couple, but I think they have their own footprints. Is this sitting alright? I think so. That's the audio jack and the very last components before we test it. Away with the bomb. Away with the empty bags. Here are the capacitors. Okay, I have 3, but I think I only need 2. Plus is down there, so I take it that it goes in like this. Plus is over there, and to the right I need to put the stripe. Okay, they are tall, but they should be okay. Okay, so always make sure that they're wired in correctly or they might explode. And I don't want that to happen. Not tonight anyway. I still have to cut the leads from the voltage regulator, I noticed. Yeah, they are short, but not that short. Yeah, for everyone just joining, we are nearing completion. We need to cut some leads, and then we can put it into the PC, which is down here, but you can't see it. Not sure if I can bring it up so that you can see it. And I probably can't get my iPhone to that level so that you can see it, because the lead is too short. Okay, last inspection. Then I need the dip switch settings, please. For, I think best would be for LPT3 and LPT4. So let's have a look. Here you have it in all its glory. We have the audio jack, we have the amplifiers with the resistors and the capacitors, we have the DACs that are aligned correctly, as well as the amplifiers. The diodes I think are okay too. Okay, 3B0 and 3B4. Okay, thank you, Matthias. We will have to see about that in a second. The comparators look okay. They are also aligned in the right way. Everything looks good. So Matthias has some binary data for us, and we will just take like a screwdriver or something. And he says 11001000. How rude. So this is on, off, on, off, on, and the rest stays off. And the second one is off, on, off, on, off, on. So that should do it, shouldn't it? I think so. This address will work if you don't use MDA or Hercules graphics, for example. I don't. Let's switch off the soldering iron. Let's take some more flux. And I'm gonna quickly open up the Frankenstein 486 thumb screws for the win. And put aside this thing here, and you will see some parts coming out as usual. And I need my screwdriver. Ah, yes. I lost the screw. Where is the screw? If you hear me cursing, that's totally normal. Here comes the goose hour. I don't want to have a screw lying around in here. I will have to fetch a flashlight probably, because I can't see one of the screws. And one of our favorites, the snark bucker. And of course Keropi's PC MIDI card. Now I really have to turn on some flashlight to make sure that I don't short anything out. That would be terrible. So where did I drop? Ah, found it. That's good. Good to know. Here's another thumb screw. Okay, okay, Matthias gave us all the instructions. So let's put in the card, this thing facing the rear. And then plug in some audio cable. It might crackle a little bit. Where are we? There we are. Turn on the machine. Switch to some different scene on the OBS. Where do we have it? Where do we have it? Let's turn off this. The machine is still booting up. That's a good sign. We will use Modmaster on the Dream Blaster X2. Yeah, exactly. There's a Dream Blaster X2 on there. Okay. Let's open up debug E40. Sorry. The X2 is actually nice. I like it for games like Day of the Tentacle or 7 Max because they are more general MIDI than Roland MT32. So it's very nice to have that in there. You don't need the SC55 necessarily. And yeah, very, very good wavetable. But at the same time I can also use the MT32 if I want. B0. Yeah, there might be some flickering from my capture card, which is very cheap, so it sometimes loses synchronization or something. So 4008, B003, B403. I think that should be it. We have Modmaster XT somewhere here. We will use the other software in a minute. Ah, it found both LPTs. That's good, I think. Output, speaker, oh no. 3BO I think is okay. Can I use only one? Is that correct, Matthias? I actually do already have an LPT in there, but this overrides just simply, I guess, right? So let's just try. Let's try with something. Can you hear something? Oh, you can hear, I think. Okay, I can't hear a thing. Because, I don't know, because my screen doesn't show that. Okay, for mono, yeah, that I do remember, that you can set both to mono. Let me see my own stream on my iPad, because for some reason I don't get any sound here. Not sure why. So I can check, because I see something there on the OBS, but I'm not sure if that's noise or if there's something in there. We don't hear it as well. Okay. Okay, so it's not me. Would have been fun if it would have worked the first time. Let's try this. No. Okay. Not yet, no. I thought so too. Let's see here. I can... So it's not the mixer. Does the other channel work? It's always fun if the things don't work, right? So let's try this one. Can I use my... I don't know. No, but I get a feedback. That's bad. Nope, nothing. Well, I'm out of ideas. We might to take another look at the card, maybe? Or did we do anything wrong? The sound output works because I played the Snark Barker before, and I didn't change anything on the mixer, so that should be okay. Let's follow the leads here. What comes from which? Oh, my stupid headphones are pairing. The author of the program seems to be from the town where I grew up. Is he? No, it's not the program actually, dear Thomas, but the guy who wrote the music. The program is actually written by a French guy called Freddy. Yeah, but yeah, he lived where you grew up, that's true. But we don't hear anything, so that's sad. We can try out a different program. But Modmaster should work, right? Because I think Matthias used it as well. Nevertheless, we still should use a different program, I think. But I need to shut down the machine. Sorry for any blips, if there were any. Let's switch back to the iPhone so you can see what I'm doing. So nothing got particularly warm. Seems okay. So we compare the settings. That's the first, of course. So the setting should be 11001000. 11001000. That's okay. Try other addresses. Yeah, if what is 3B0 actually? Is that's not the LPT1, right? The normal LPT1. What address shall we try? We need some binary calculation. We can do that with my Swiss Micro DM16L. So we had 3B0, which is binary 1 0 1 1. Oh, that's actually that's not what I've said here, right? 230 and 380, they're usually unused. 230, okay. So let's go to hex again. Let's clear the thing. So 230 in hex is 0 0 1 1 and everything 0. So off is down, 0 0 1 1, everything else set to 0. And 380. So delete 380. Bin. Okay, that's simple. Everything done. I think this should be okay. Can you actually make that out? 0 0 1 1 0 0 0 and so on, and a 1 and all zeros. Yes, that is a nice calculator. The original, the HP 16P, I think, for programmer, is you can't pay for them. They are gold basically. But this Swiss company does reproductions, very nice reproductions, which are more affordable. Yeah, let's try that again and plug that in. Okay, plug it in. Let's take this cable here. I think there was at least some kind of crack or something, right? 380 should be... What did I do? What did I do wrong? Least significant bit first? That doesn't make sense, right? What about, let's see, 255, sorry, decimal, 255 in binary, it's all ones. What about 128 in binary, 1000. Yeah, that makes more sense, does it? So why did it say 380? Oh, wait a second. I should do that in hex. 380 hex binary. It doesn't make sense. Why doesn't the hex not work? That's interesting. So you're saying 1111000 in hex. F8 it says in hex. What? But I'm rather listening to Matthias instead of my stupid calculator. So let's set it again. Okay, what do we want? We want the 370 and the 380. Okay, so let's do 5 ones, 3 zeros, and 2 ones, 3 zeros, and like this. And just look at the picture of the thread. Yeah, we could do that, but this should be fine, I think. Okay, I switch to the thread. You got me. Where's the thread? It's somewhere here. It's somewhere. Where is it? Let's go to the front page of the DOS Reloaded. Go to the thread. Here it is. And okay. Yeah. This looks just like what I have, except that your dip switches look slightly different. Okay. A2 to A9? What? What do you mean? Yeah. I think mine looks okay now. Ah, I lost the chat now. Oh, crap. Are you still there? Are you guys still there? Because I just... No. No. Chrome crapped out. Ah, great. Okay, yeah, Chrome had a hiccup. I was already worried a little bit. So, okay, but I think this looks just like what Matthias has in his thread. So let's try that. Turn it on again, switch to the PC, over here, booting up, and then running debug again. Stream lag, yeah, that could be. I'm still getting 3 megabits over there, and YouTube also says very good connection, but who knows. Let's try anyway. $40.08, $70.03, $80.03. Q. Sound. Not MXT 19 or something. 370 and 380. Yes, that is okay. Output again to this. And let's try something that doesn't get us any. Yeah, I don't see a thing. That means we need to take a closer look at probably at the card. I will try one more thing. We have other software. Does Pinball Fantasies work with this stuff? Speech thing, maybe? Probably. LVT1. I can even put in any address. 370. My switches, yes. I mean, we can toggle them to the other direction. Okay, there's nothing. Nothing there. Maybe we need to toggle them. Then it's... But it shouldn't matter, because they're switches, I mean... Let's switch back to the iPhone view here. So you can see it says off, down. Off is rocker down. So this one is actually a 1 and these are zeros, which should be exactly like we said it should be. And since these are switches, a 1 is a 1, no matter how I mount these things. So I don't think that it helps anything if I invert that, because these are just on-off switches basically. So I don't think that's the problem. The question is neither the left nor the right channel works. That means either both of the components in the signal path are broken or none is, and something else is a problem. Let me take a look. Opposite, you say opposite. Okay, let's switch to opposite. So let's take another look. I don't think that it's the case. Continuity test, yeah, I can also do that. We had this and this and that. So this is now the opposite setting, but this should be an off now. We can also do the, no problem, we can do the continuity test. That's no problem. If you want to have the continuity, we can do that. So these here should all be off. So if I probe this, nothing, and over here it should be on, which is the case. So my idea is that this is wrong. This should be wrong. Because these are now all off and these are on, and I don't think this will work. It should make no difference, or do I miss something? I don't quite get what you're saying. However, I'm looking at the backside to see if there's anything that could be a problem. mean, some of the solder joints don't look particularly nice, but also not not that terrible. I think everything is making good contact. Can touch up a little bit. It's not the software, because Pinball Fantasies doesn't work and Modmaster doesn't work. The thing is, I'm wondering why neither the left nor the right channel does work, because from what I get is at least one of them should work, right? If one component is broken. So I'm not quite sure what's the deal here. Which component is at fault? We are all in the right way. Everything is looking good. Just try. What am I supposed to try? Should I try again? Okay, I will try again. And if I don't hear anything, I will probably just use my headphones to make sure that the mixer isn't at fault. But since the SnarkBarker was working, I think it was the wrong setting. Let's see. Switch on the PC. Switch to the PC. Here we go. Can it be that the chat has huge delay? I don't know. So I'm gonna count to 3. And when I say 3, I will send a chat message. 1, 2, 3. So, we need the debug command. I should have copied that. Where's the debug command? There. Copy that. Go down. Get me some text editor. Put that in there. Get it somewhere where I can see it. Okay. Debug. E40. Come on. 4008. 7003. 8003. I should know that by now. Modem XT19. Modem. I'm taking all bets. Will it work? I think there's something. I don't believe it. You always have to trust your baker. You always have to trust your baker. He was right all along. And we need stereo, right? Because this is all fine and good, but stereo would be nicer, right? But great that we have something. So let's quickly, shall we do it the old-fashioned way with the floppy disk, or shall we use the compact flash? What do you like? I'm waiting for half a minute for answers to come in. I'm sure I can't do polls, right? But no, I don't think there's an option here. Sorry. I wanted to click up here, but I think I added a advertisement. Sorry, guys, but that's only because you never donate any money, and that's why I have to live off of advertising. Floppy, yeah, I think floppy is nicer. We need to find a floppy drive. So, very old school. This is, oh, you can't see a thing. Poor people. So this is the floppy drive, and we also have a floppy somewhere around here. Here it is. Here's a floppy. We will insert this, and we will attach this somewhere behind the back of the Mac that's doing the streaming. So there we are, and we will, let's see, I should be able to do something like this. Okay, here you see my stats and everything, and we will be able to will we be able to better set this to do not disturb. And I think Mr. Matthias had a link for something like this. I need to delete everything on here. There are still some D64s, and we probably need to unpack that. Not sure if I have something to unrar, so let's go there. Volumes, the no-name floppy, unrar the floppy, because it's pretty small. It will fit on there. I hope. So that's that. Let's eject all this. And this is ejected, so that's okay. Let's unplug the floppy drive because it keeps on clicking. Let's insert the floppy, and we need to switch to the PC, right? So here we are. Create a new, what is it called? Met something? MFAD, whatever that is. MFAD. Ah, I love the sounds of floppies. Okay. C config. Toggles, backup files, I don't know. Options, output device speaker, DA converter on LPT2. Aha, on 1 and 2. Yeah, that looks good. The commander clone, yeah, that's a common question. This is the DOS controller by some Danish guy almost 30 years ago, and I love it because it's small. It's 60 kilobytes. It's a very small comp file written in assembler. It is not as powerful as the Norton Commander or Star Commander or anything, but it's so small I can put it on a floppy with a ton of other tools, and it's super fast. That's why I use it most of the time. If I need something more powerful, I use Star Commander or Norton Commander, of course. But this is pretty nice. Let's go higher. Let's go 22 kilohertz. And will it save like this? Save and exit, and then we start it. And then we go to the mod directory. So it plays only mods. Then we will take, oh yeah, it only plays mods. Okay. I will not play Guitar Slinger because then I get a copyright strike by Georgia. Volkov Commander, yeah, I never used that, but supposedly also pretty good. We can do a whole live stream with just Norton Commander and clones and check out which one is the best. Chiptro. I think there's something. I can't hear it. You can hear it because I need to plug in my headphones. Let me do just that. There's the cable. But there's not my headphones. No. Is it already? Do you guys hear anything? You have to press space. Yeah. Oh! Ah, that's much better. Okay. Okay, stopping here for a minute to reflect on what we did today, because I think this is definitely a success. I still don't get why the dip switches were the wrong way, because they're clearly labeled down is off, and that's also how I set them on the XTID, I think, which one of them works at least. And yeah, I'm not quite getting why these are inverted. However, this actually sounds pretty nice. We can I'm not sure if you can crank it up to even 44 kilohertz or something. No, sadly not. However, 22 kilohertz already sounds pretty nice, and stereo is definitely a nice feature for mods playing, so to speak. And yeah, I like it very much. As I said before, if the original PC came with something simple like this and maybe the SN76489 or another cheap synth chip, we would have probably seen a very different PC gaming world. But it took a couple of years, and the PC caught up with third-party solutions, obviously, which is also nice. But this solution, I like it quite very much. Yeah, there are other players, who knows, now that everyone can buy these things or can build their things, maybe it takes off. Nobody will use their Core i7 anymore, but we'll go back to a nice 486 with this very nice sound card, I guess. Probably, maybe, and Trump will not win, maybe, probably, but yeah, who knows. I think that's almost it for today. Pump up the volume. Yeah, I will start playing a few more mods now for the end of the stream. But I think for today that's it. I have a mess on my desk now. I have to take out the trash and clean up a bit. And tomorrow is another work day, and this one was a very nice card to solder. Very simple. It's actually a very, very nice card for beginners, if you have your retro PC and want to get it running. Of course, there's not excessively much software that supports it. You can, of course, use it with something like Pinball Dreams. We can, or Pinball Fantasies, we can actually try that out, because I already set it up. It will be, of course, right channel only again, but as Matze said, you can set both ports to the same address and it will be on both channels then, but you lose the stereo. It would, of course, be nice to have like an auto detect for stereo mode, but not sure how easy that is. So we already had that set to, let's see, I don't know what we set it to. Let's say LPT1, that should work, and then just test running pinball. I can already hear it from my headphones. So yeah, that's. Oh, I should have used Bones and Stones, because we have. Okay, the lag is massive. That's horrible. I can't play through OBS. That's absolutely terrible. Let's go out here, but you can see already that it does work, right? So that's a big success. So you can use this card for games, for sure. But as I said, there aren't terribly many games. Some that support music like that. I think Pinball Fantasies and Pinball Dreams is one of the best for that. Yeah, what's left there to say? Thank you for joining in. It's always a pleasure to do these soldering videos live. And oh yeah, one address for both channels. Yeah, you have 3 comparators basically. You need one more, and I would probably replace the dip switches with jumpers and pick some hard-coded a couple of addresses like that you can use. Fast Tracker 2, yeah, Fast Tracker 2 is also very buggy, in my opinion. So yeah, there's definitely a bunch of software. So for a beginner, it's a very nice card to build. As I said, I love doing these solderings, especially for the simpler things in live stream, because it's something that you can do in 1 or 2 hours, as you've seen, and it doesn't really necessitate that you can do like miniatures, SMD soldering or anything. And yeah, I will definitely do something like this again. Thank you for watching. If you aren't a subscriber, please subscribe, give a thumbs up. All the people in the chat, thank you. That's what's making the the live stream always a pleasure to do. And MP3, yeah, you can also play MP3. Probably not on my machine here. That's a 486 DX33. That's too slow for any MP3 real time, I think. And yeah, hope to see you soon. Some people on the forum, some people in YouTube. Thomas, maybe in real life. Haven't seen you in ages. So yeah, thank you. I will play 1 or 2 more mods while trying to clean up in the background. And you can enjoy the lovely stereo sound, and just see you next time, I hope. So I'm gonna turn down the mic, and yeah, I'm off.